Hello! What's going on, guys? Oh man, it's almost Friday, thank God. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but we're coming up on the end of this very chaotic week. End of the year, and who in the world is in the A320 making all the racket in the background over there? Go away! Anyways. Hopefully you guys are able to take some time off for the end of the year, and let's go back into the cockpit here so we don't have to listen to that guy zooming around in his A320 at this airport, which is not really designed for it, but hey, whatever. Hopefully you guys are able to get some time off at the end of the year and get some flying in until you're sick of it, because I plan to. Anyways, as you can see, we are in the Black Square Bonanza tonight. It's been a very long time since I've been in this girl, but definitely expecting a fun night of flying. Currently, we are at Sedona, sitting on the ground, and we'll be heading over to Prescott as our ultimate destination. We'll be flying VFR tonight, so we can hop off of our flight plan and enjoy some of the stunning visuals this part of the country offers. And we'll also have a couple touch and goes along the way to spice things up a bit. Not only that, but we'll be doing this via VOR nav, which should make it even more interesting because I don't plan on staying on the nav track at all. Hopefully we don't get lost, you know, because that's never happened before. But you guys could do me a real quick favor and hit that like button and leave a comment below. That would, as we get started here, that would be huge. And if you have any desire to support the channel or anything that we do here, or have any questions about my current setup, check out the links below. Right now we've got Sean and Draken. This is his first time flying with us, so everybody say hello to Draken. With us on the ground here, so if you'd like to join this flight, feel free to hop in the Discord and we'll get you all set up. Discord's linked below, and we can get you in on this flight if you want to join, or any of the future flights. So let's we're already back in the cockpit, so let's get this thing started up. We are actually on live weather and live time today, so that's kind of a nice change of pace. The winds on the ground right now are very calm at 1 knot at 170, so I'm expecting a nice, beautiful day of flying over here in Arizona, and I hope you enjoy it yourself. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, I'm back. You giggling about?
It's funny.
We were just getting everything together.
I forgot that my radio frequency I had to change it back.
Radio frequency?
I was using I was using the Garmin, but I was putting the frequency into the radio. I'm like, why is it going from 113 to like, or 130 back to 135?
Oh,
like 138.
you're trying to put in the comm instead of the nav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're hitting Flagstaff, and then where are we headed after that?
Yeah, so we can cover that on the Navigraph charts here real quick. And one thing I'll do as usual is we'll turn off our beacon here so that we don't have any sort of assistance, so that allows us to get lost. So leaving Sedona, going to Flagstaff, heading over to, I think it's Clark Memorial, and then down to Prescott. Now, we will be going to the Flagstaff VOR on a heading of 9 degrees, and then departing Flagstaff on a heading of 281 degrees. And then back down to a DRK, which is the VOR next to Prescott, on a heading of 191. So once we get in the air, we should be able to see those VORs pop up. I know the Prescott VOR is a high altitude VOR. Let me see it. Oh, okay, Clark Memorial does not have a VOR. Flagstaff, it is also high altitude, so we should be able to pick it up pretty easily. Those things have a range of like 200 miles. So once you get over the mountains, you should be able to find it. And if we do get lost, we can just spin the radio around until we figure out what direction the airport's from us and start heading that way. Not too bad. We're in a big loop here anyways, so if we have time, we can even depart Prescott and go back to Sedona. This is a pretty quick flight for this airplane, but I'm not intending on doing anything direct by any means. Let's take a look at the weather at Sedona. Mentioned earlier the winds are pretty calm. It was showing at the time 1 knot at 170. Now it's showing 1504 knots. So we can take off pretty much any runway we want to. In our instance, what would be cool is if we departed. Let's head down to Cottonwood and then wrap back around up to Mormon Lake. So we can go to Cottonwood, which is just southwest of us here. So we can depart off of runway 21, head straight out, zoom back around, go up to Mormon Lake, and then Sedona does not have a VOR for that navigation, but we should be able to do it visually. Now then, Mormon Lake has this nice transmission line going up towards Flagstaff. So hopefully with We Love VFR, we'll be able to see that. And if you guys see anything you want to check out while we're flying, just let me know. We'll head that way.
Oh, cool. See, I have nameplates on. I'm looking for y'all here in the airport. I don't know if I see you.
See right there.
I
You
got
in
somebody.
the Black Airport?
There's two people right next to me here, and somebody on 152.
I'm in 152.
Okay, yeah. I've got Aviator 787, and then Drock, I see you. You're off my nose there.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I see you now. You're too close for the nameplate.
Yeah, yeah. I had to hop in the drone camera real quick and zoom out a little bit.
Maybe I should
My name is
Guess
Derek,
we'll
by
go
the way.
Bonanza.
If it's
Oh,
easier
okay.
for you to spit out there.
Thanks, Derek. It makes it a little easier instead of me being like Drocken.
Yeah.
Drocken's over here rocking. So battery on. We're not going to spend too much time going through the whole checklist or anything. We got 3/4 tank fuel and another 24 gallons or so in the tip tanks. So let's get this thing started up. Let's go mixture full, prop full. Fuel is in the left tank. Do have to remember to swap the tanks in this thing because we don't fly airplanes all the time. That hasn't. Let's go booster pump high for 3 seconds. Put the throttle forward. And booster pump off. And then we'll bring throttle back and just crack it a little bit. Let's get our nav lights on, beacon light on. Get this thing started up. Okay. Let's try leaning it out just a hair here because we are at a higher altitude. Nope. Let's try it one more time. Crack throttle a little bit more. Okay, let's lean it out just a bit more. Let's try putting the booster pump on low. Should see fuel flow. Here's about where we're getting some fuel flow. Let's try there. Okay. Bring that back down. Lean it all the way out, and let's crank it over a couple times here just to make sure we don't have it flooded. I'm not used to starting this thing at high altitudes. Alright. Bring the mixture back up. Props up. Crack throttle. I don't think I'm missing anything. The left fuel tank is on. Pretty straightforward to start this thing. Let's try it again. There she goes. Alright, let's get that RPM to 1,000. And we'll bring the the fuel mixture, lean that out a bit for the ground so we don't have a, you can see the performance increases. We leaned it out there. Let's watch for a slight drop in RPMs. There it goes. And we'll keep it about right there. That way we don't foul the plugs on the ground. Alright, alternator on. Master avionics on. We can go ahead and get our air conditioning turned on since it is... Actually, it's only 55 degrees here. We'll leave it off. We're actually pretty comfortable, considering this thing is sitting here acting like a greenhouse. It's not too bad. Let's go ahead and get our approach flaps down. And let's check our... Instrument air is good. Prop amps. I don't think we're going to run into any icing, so I'm not too worried about that. Go ahead and get our taxi lights on. Alternator load is got about 24 amps on it, so let's turn the alternator off, make sure that looks good. Plus volts drop also. Oh, let's check our standby alternator. Secondary on the load meter, maybe? No? It's been a little while since I've gone through the entire checklist on this thing. But the primary works, so we'll give her a go with that. We are currently and going VFR here. Altitude reporting. It's on. Temperature's 55 degrees inside the cockpit. No problems there. Alright. We'll let this thing continue warming up. And our first waypoint is Flagstaff, BOR. It is 11385. So we're going to dial on 11385 on our nav 1 radio. And then, oh, it actually popped in while we're sitting on the ground here, which is awesome. And it may be a little wishy-washy since we're sitting on the ground versus in the air. But once we get in the air, we should see this thing on a heading of 9 degrees. So there is 10, there's 9, and that'll be a direct to that waypoint. Altitude, let's get the current altimeter, which is 3021. 3021. And I believe we got 2 altimeters in this airplane, so let's go here and get 30. We can't hardly see it. 1. It's almost there. Standby radio. We will leave Flagstaff in there as our standby also. What we'll do for that one, that'll be down here on our OBS 2, is we'll dial in 281 on it, because that'll be the Williams Clark Memorial Airport. What I'll say, 281, 29, 28, 81. There we go. Alright, oil pressure's in the green, temperature's in the green. And engine cylinder head temperatures are almost in the green, so we're about ready to go. How you guys doing?
Hanging in there.
Doing good.
Awesome. Alrighty. So, cruise altitude, we'll target. Let's see, we're currently sitting at 5. Let's target 7,500. See how well that goes for us. Target 7,500. And we can turn the flight director on, put it in altitude mode, and heading mode for the ground here. We're going to depart off of runway 21, head down to Cottonwood, see if we can't find it, and then come back, head on over to, what in the world? Somebody driving a bus? What are you doing? Somebody's driving a tugger right through my cockpit. A forklift.
That's the second time.
Get out of here. Man, I can't do anything.
He came to pick the plane up. Came to repo the plane.
He came to pick me up and then get out of here. All right, well, don't really know what to do with a forklift on board. I don't think we would even get off the ground, but we'll we'll scoot it up just a hair here, just so I can actually see the rest of my cockpit. Parking brake's off, and let's scoot up just a hair here. All right, now that I can see again, jerk. Strobe lights.
Targeting.
What's that?
7,500.
Yep, 7,500. Change because I turned the autopilot on. And we'll depart at, I think we could easily do 800 feet per minute right now. We are kind of high in elevation, so we'll see how that works for us. Let's go ahead and check our controls. Haven't flown this thing in a little while. Everything looks and feels good. So once we get to the runway, we will get the strobe and landing lights on, and I think that's pretty much all we got to do. And oh, we got to do a run up too. We'll do that to hold short point there. So runway 21. Let's go ahead and dial in 210 on the heading bug here. Come on, you can do it. There you go, 210. And we should be matching pretty well. So 31, 31 on the HSI versus our compass up here. So everything seems to be good there. Let's go ahead and get our track IR back on. Reset the view. And I am ready when you guys are.
I'm ready.
All right. Don't really have to touch anything
roll.
here. Go and turn it around, and we're going to taxi. We're expecting to depart straight ahead of us right now. We're taxi on down and head to the left. I do have the scenery for this airport. I think I just picked this one up from the marketplace, along with the rock formations around here. It
Oh, nice.
makes it look really nice.
Yeah, I grew up in Arizona, so I've been up here a good bit, actually.
Oh, nice. This would be a fun place to go
Had a,
plane watching.
yeah, I had a buddy in high school that got his private license. We flew out of Scottsdale up here one night to have dinner at this little restaurant off the side of the airport.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that would be... I'm looking to get my license next year. A few
Nice.
things to pay off, and then I'll be...
Yeah, I
gonna
heard
get
that.
Yeah.
I took a Discovery flight in June.
Oh, nice.
everything after that gets quite pricey.
Yeah, yeah. They lure you in with that cheap Discovery flight, and then suddenly you're
Yep.
paying a fortune for everything.
They recommended 2 classes a week.
Yeah.
About $4,000.
So I am Huckleberry over here and the F-18. He's gonna give us a little bit of wake turbulence to deal with, but he should be out of the way by the time we do our run up. So let's go ahead and put our mixture in. Go all the way on the mixture. Pull the power back.
I think I should.
What's that?
I think I should have flew to Bonanza. You
Oh.
guys are gonna be over up there.
Yeah, we're gonna be a bit quicker than you, but it's not too bad. All right, so let's go ahead and get the RPM up to 1700. This thing does have a bit of a lag where it's that turbocharged version. Let's bring it back just a hair
Sounds
here.
good, though.
It does sound good. I love that noise. All right, let that stabilize. All right, let's go left mag. About 150 RPM. I'm expecting a little bit more since I am full rich right now. Let that recover. Right mag. And about the same, maybe a little bit more. Should be good. And I'm actually going to let that RPM stabilize, and then I'm going to lean it out just a hair here. And we can use our EDM 800 down here for once we get in the air. Looks like we got a little fog off to the, or a little bit of haze more so off to the right there, but we'll depart on a heading of 210 and head down to Cottonwood so if we can't find it. Alright, clear left past the trees that are always at the end of the runway. Yay. Props all the way in, mixture is set. Flaps are in approach. And we're clear right. Go ahead and get our strobe and landing lights on since I forgot them. Landing lights, there they are. Trim. Don't remember where the trim is supposed to be. Is it U? Or that's 0. Let's go to U. Just right below it and see how that feels. Alright. Bringing the full power. Let's go. Better right rudder. Keep her straight. Bit more right rudder. 80 knots. Let's rotate. And we've got positive brake gear up. Alright, so we definitely need more Trim. That's a nice view off to the left there. No problem climbing out about 1,500 feet per minute. Hey, Sean, you might be having to sim rate a little bit.
Yeah, you're pulling away.
Yeah, let's go flaps up. And we are looking for Cottonwood. It should be pretty much maybe a couple degrees to the right of what we're currently heading. But we'll get up to cruise here and pull back the power a bit for Sean. Heading up to 750. Get a little bit of nose down trim. Still hand flying. Derek, is that what you said your name was?
Yes, sir.
So how much, what kind of experience do you have in the sim? We've not talked yet.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of time, just not very like precise. It's more so just screwing around, having fun. But
Yep.
Say about 2,000 hours.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we do, which I'm sure you've seen now, quite a mixture of anything and everything.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. 737, a lot of GAs lately.
Yep. Alright, we're coming up on 7,500. And we will need to look at our map here in a moment. Figure out where the heck we are. Got somebody off my nose down below me. Who is that? I am Huckleberry. It's in this F-18 down there again.
Still got a few minutes for Cottonwood.
Yeah, I'm just, wasn't too terribly far away. I think it's right at the base of that ridge right there in front of us.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and pull some power back so we don't leave Sean too far
Catch
in
up
the
to you.
dust. You have the best looking MSFS streams of anyone I follow on here. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it, buddy. I spent quite a bit of time trying to get it to look as best I could. So it's always nice to hear that. Alright, there is the city of Cottonwood off to my 1 o'clock or so. So crispy. And then there is a lake that is kind of curvy, and I think it might be that right there. That's the river.
What heading y'all on? 2-2?
I am getting close to Cottonwood here, but I'm kind of turning to the right just a hair. Got her up to 7,500. What we're going to do here, this is the Bonanza from Black Square. We're doing a little bit of a mixture of VFR and VOR navigation tonight.
I see a lake. Clarkdale.
So let's go ahead and get a little autopilot assistance here. Autopilot. Should be in flight director, altitude, and heading mode. Cabin temperature is cold now. Didn't take long to get to that. Go and pull the prop RPM back to 2,000. I believe we can lean it out quite a bit here. Trying to keep it nice and slow for Sean behind us. He's in the 152 tonight, so.
Yeah, I'm still trying to catch up myself.
Alright,
Yeah, I was
there is
thinking, I
the
was like,
city. There's the
I was
airport.
thinking when we fly.
What's that?
I was thinking what you were gonna fly. I didn't.
Oh.
Never really.
Yeah, I've got the those icons on the banner now. Should kind of help inform people. Let's go ahead and do a right turn here. Right turn 30. Here's the Cottonwood Airport, along with the curvy lake I mentioned. So that was in fact the lake.
I see the lake right here. Off to my right.
Let's see where these guys are. Got Sean is kind of off behind me. And there goes Derek. This thing can't be burning very much fuel right now. 6 gallons an hour, that's pretty good. Got it sitting about 90 knots right now. So what we can do is we'll go ahead and reverse our course from 210 back to 030. And we'll head back to Sedona. A nice view of the mountains ahead of us there. Let's bring in just a touch of power, keep that speed up a hair more. This thing doesn't like to fly too slow. It's a little wobbly.
Yeah, I think it's a sports car.
Yeah. So just looking around, there's Sedona. There's the airport. And we are going to be heading to Flagstaff from Cottonwood now. So what we could do is go direct to Sedona and then overfly the airport and then hop on this VOR here. So let's head towards our nav track line right here on the HSI. Just a reminder of what we're doing. We've got 11385 dialed in on a heading of 9 degrees on the course. So once we get closer to Sedona, which we're flying directly towards it right now, the snap bar should start heading in. And I'll show you guys how this is working. So we flew on out to Cottonwood, going back around. We're kind of on this I'd say we're about 060 or so, without looking at the compass. And once we get to Sedona, we'll be able to turn up on a 090 heading towards Flagstaff VOR. So that right bar indicates that we are to the left of the nav track. So you want to be flying towards that nav track, because this, just imagine that being a straight line through that VOR. Sean says, installing the G36 improvement project right now, changing it up from the airliners. Yeah, spending some time in the GA aircraft not only makes you a much better pilot in the sim, but it's a nice refreshing change of pace for sure. So,
yeah, and you get to check out all the scenery, and
yeah,
it's beautiful.
And this girl is not happy with me for taking her so slow to dinner right now, so let's get her sped up a little bit here, and let's get her heat turned on. Where is the heat in this thing? I forgot. Oh, speaking of heat, we need to get our pitot heat on. Huh, oops. That's what I get for not following a checklist on an airplane I haven't flown in a while. Alright, so we got the air conditioning and blower. Oh, here we go. Cabin heat, pull on. Let's see if that starts to warm us up. This thing should just be pulling heat from the engine. There it goes, starting to rise. It is kind of sensitive, so we don't want to make it turn into a sauna in here by any means. Yeah, I realized all I look at are clouds. Yep, that's yeah. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love flying the Phoenix A320 all the time, but getting back to the basics, like what we're doing right now, is a ton of fun too. So I think this nav track is starting to scooch on in for us. Let's watch it here. It may just be imagining. Nope, it is moving. Awesome. So what we can do is once we get close to intercept range, we can go over to nav mode and it will follow that VOR path. Sean, if you have any questions about VOR navigation, I'm definitely willing to help you figure it out. It seems more complicated on paper than it actually is. While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and transfer to the right tank. What'd you say, Sean? Sorry.
So I think the last time that we flew, actually, I think I did do the VOR.
Yeah, it's especially when the weather sucks and you can't see the ground. We need to do a flight like that. We need to everybody turn on the worst weather possible in terms of visibility, and then do a VOR flight through a mountainous area. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I could land at Kercheval.
There you go. That would do it. Or Case.
Oh,
Getting in and out of Case with zero visibility is always a blast. And not having any sort of ground radar would make it even more interesting. So let's get this thing leaned out right here. So lean find. Let's pull the mixture back. Oh, it may be a little too lean as it is. Oh, we gotta lean it to the, a little rich, I think is how this works. So I'm not sure how well this thing's gonna work when we're not, oh, that's the leanest. Okay. So we're good right there. I think we were running a little too lean just a minute ago. Cylinder head temperatures were okay, so not too worried about it.
Alright, I'm turning the wind off.
Oh, it's just really windy? Alright, so we're passing the nav track here, so go to nav mode. And we're in nav 1. And we're doing a left turn.
Now I'm flying.
Looks like Derek is on up ahead of us there. Where's Sean at? Try not to leave him in the dust. There he is.
Yeah, I'm behind. I see y'all there. I knew I loaded in and I saw the Bonanza. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
should I go back and jump in?
Well, if you want to, Sean, once we get about halfway to Flagstaff here, you can load in with faster plane.
I'm bringing a TBM out.
There you go. Alright, let's check our cabin temperature, 62 degrees, perfect. Sun coming in here, feel nice.
I think we can do that. I'm just gonna load my plate up so I can just spawn on you.
There you go. Alright, looking at the mountains ahead of us here, we are currently at 7,500 feet. I think we'll be okay. But these things are a little bit over 7,500 or 7,000 feet. Once we get past those, Flagstaff is actually at 7,000 feet. So we actually do need to climb some. Let's go ahead. Let's go to 9,500 feet. Push some power in. Bring the prop back in. Richen it just a hair. Prop 2,500 RPM. Bring the power back up to 25 for a cruise climb. And let's go vertical speed of 800 feet per minute. Sean, which airliner is your favorite? Sounds like you like quite a few of them.
What, airliner? Or airline?
Oh, sorry. Sean in the chat.
Oh.
or you. Seanzy.
Got two Sean's in here.
Yeah. Be careful, Mr. Buckland. Sean's going to come for you. He said there can only be one. Just using the fly-by-wire A320X and the headwinds A330. Hey, can't go wrong with those two. All right, we're up to 8,200 feet for 85. I'm sorry, 95. He says, how does he spell his name? He spells it WN, as far as I'm aware.
H-A-W-N.
S-H-A-W-N, so... At least phonetically, his makes more sense.
That's crazy. My,
Oh,
my
he said-
father's name is John.
He said, oh, that's gross.
That's crazy. You know what's crazy? My father, he spells his name like that way, the non-phonetic way.
S-E-A-N?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know if I've ever met two Seans, one being a father and one the son, who have the same name, but it's spelled different.
Spelled different. That's interesting.
Yeah. That's the first time I think I've ever heard that.
Huh. Cover all bases.
I got a cousin named J-U-N.
Sean from the chat says he's Irish, so he has an Irish spelling. Yeah, we don't do well with that kind of stuff. Well, I can't say that. English is full of that crap, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel bad for anybody trying to learn English because, you know, we got there, and there, and where, and where, and your, and your. Yeah, it's stupid.
Weather.
Yeah, weather. Does, and then whose idea was to make desert and dessert? Like, so similar.
I agree.
We'll bring it back to 2121 on the manifold and RPM. Although I can't say too much. I'm a redneck with a few extra brain cells. I came from the mountains, and some of the words that come out of the mountains is interesting. Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, me too.
Oh, okay.
I'm up in West Virginia.
Ah, okay. Eastern Kentucky is where I'm from originally.
All right.
We can talk about that off stream one time.
Most definitely.
Yeah. All right, so
Oh, go ahead.
I am. I think I'm almost at Flagstaff here. 7.5 miles according to the Bendix here, and I can pretty much do a straight-in approach. It looks like. Let's check the weather real quick. Weather, open airport. Weather at Flagstaff. Winds are 080 at 10 knots. Okay, so we are currently heading in the right direction. We're going to be landing on runway 03. At least West Virginia sounding... Oh. He says you're the least West Virginia sounding West Virginian he's ever heard.
Thank you.
I
grew up in Arizona, so I got rid of a lot of it.
It's probably a compliment, honestly.
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
All right. If you heard my mom's side of the family, you'd be amazed that my accent isn't thicker. We're pretty much going to do a straight-in approach here, kind of doing a right base-ish. And we're going to land on runway 03. So let's go ahead and get the propeller in, pull the power back. Get that up to 2600, and then full rich on the mixture. Keep pulling that power back, and let's get some approach flaps in. It's going to yell at us because our gear's not up, since we didn't plan too well for this, since we were talking too much, as usual.
Yep.
And there's our approach flap speed. Go and get our landing gear down. Bring a little bit of power.
Coming in hot.
What are you trying to figure out, Sean?
How to program flight plan in here. Not touchscreen, so.
Oh, are you in the default Bonanza?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright, let's get down to about 100 knots and we'll go approach flaps. I'm sorry, landing flaps. There we go. 100 knots, landing flaps. And it's got an approach speed of about 75 knots. Here's a perfect training instance where if you apply more power, it should bring the nose up a bit. As we get kicked around by the wind. Sean, when are you going to join us on a flight? We've got quite a track record of converting viewers to members who join us on a flight. Alright, confirm mixture and proper in. Gear is down. Confirm through green. Go ahead and correct for this crosswind. Trim it out just a hair more. A little high, but we got these trees at the end of the runway as always. There's the glide slope. Getting bounced around quite a bit now. I always get bounced around right at the end of these runways with these trees. Just touch slow since we dropped past those trees. And let's get her on the ground. Start crabbing a little harder here. And we're just doing a touch and go. Bring that nose up. Hold it. Hold it. Let the energy bleed off. Stall horn. Touchdown. Perfect. Alright. Let's bring the power back in slowly. Approach flaps. And full power. 70 knots. Rotate. Oh, that was textbook. That was a great gear up. And just to save the engine a little bit here, we'll pull it back just a hair, get it back in the green. I want to. Should I join the Discord server? Absolutely. There is a ton of good information in there, and we fly all through the week, actually. It's not just Thursdays and Sundays. We fly pretty much every day in here. Alright, snow's over. Get some speed. Let's go check out these mountains over here. There's a big windmill off to my left. Go ahead on back up to 9,500 feet. Climb out at 800 feet per minute. And we're high enough now and fast enough. Let's get the flaps up. Trimming that nose down, watch it drop. Here we go. Get our heading bug. Pretty much in line with this here. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. My OBS decided to crash on me. But I was able to pause the stem and not really lose too much there, so hopefully you guys are still there.
Yep. Right behind you.
Awesome. Alright, let's get this thing sorted out. Let's go autopilot just to free my brain up for a little bit here. So, flight director, heading mode, and autopilot on. Heading up to 9,500 feet. Should probably update our altimeter real quick. And while my screens were flickering and everything was going nuts, I did hear the 1,000-foot alarm, so it was a nice little reminder. And we're almost to it. So let's do a left turn once we get around these mountains. As a reminder, we were departing here. Let me see if my Navigraph, let me readjust that and bring Discord back up since my notes were there. So we're leaving Flagstaff on a heading of 281. Channel 11385, which we have flown past the airport quite a bit now. So what we'll do is do a left turn and then join that nav track back. And we're at cruise. Let's go 2121. On power and prop. Here those turbines wind down. I'm jealous of people who live in places like this. So flat where I live now. Alright, let's do a cockpit check here. 72 degrees inside. We're doing good there. Let's get this thing leaned out. There's the Linus. Let's push it back just a little bit, get that richer peak. Saw Honda Jet today at our local regional. Pretty sharp looking. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love that thing. Let's go ahead and start our left turn here. When I was at the Flight Expo in Houston this year, I got to see the Vision Jet up close and personal. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
That is an awesome airplane to fly in the sim too.
Yep.
Alright, let's check our fuel tanks here. We got a little bit more in the left tank. So let's go ahead and swap it over since we did just go full power on the takeoff. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to dive into on the channel here, so take a look and feel free to hop in the flight sometime. We're going to dive right through this gap right here. What we're going to do is we're going to set up our HSI for 281. There's 28 and about 281. So here, once again, I'll show you what we did on Navigraph. That makes more sense. We flew out of Flagstaff and we went around these mountains right here, cut back into this gap. So we are approximately right here. So we're flying towards this 281 track. And if you take a look, oops, let me make this a little smaller so maybe it'll make a little more sense. Trying to drag it down, it's struggling. There it goes. So we are currently flying in between these two mountains right here. You can see that from the contours. And we're flying towards this nav track. And this arrow down here means we're going from. So we're leaving Flagstaff on a heading of 281 for that nav track. We should see that start inching in here shortly. It's bumpy in these hills right here. So hopefully the OBS doesn't crap out on us again. I just recently updated it to, I think it was version 30? Yeah. Unfortunately, you know how those things go. This is the first stream since I've done it. It's been acting a little wonky when I do some of my recordings. It's actually been... I go to close it and it won't close. It's goofy. One little trick you can actually do too is, since we've got our nav2 on 11385 also, you can, if you were to fly to the airport, you can spin this dial around and kind of figure out where the airport is in relation to you. So whenever Navigraph decides to give us direction capabilities, we'll be able to, you could use two VORs to kind of triangulate yourself in. Hey Diesel, you're a little late. Hope I didn't miss anything. You missed some great views. Got Derek off my left there, it looks like. Where's that Sean? It's Derek.
Yeah, it's me. Yep.
We're just doing a bit of VFR. Okay. Doing a bit of VFR with some VOR navigation. So the airport right now is about coming up on 150 from us. So we are starting to catch up to it, being pretty much directly north from the airport. Or, I'm sorry, we've passed it already. We are northwest of the airport. Showing 7.4 miles to our destination. And looking ahead right here. Is that the airport? Look, it might be a little close. Let's go go ahead and dive into the left here quite a bit. Try to get on that nav track just to show you guys this kind of coming in, since we were a little slow to get to it. Having this HSI makes a world of difference when you're trying to intercept a nav. I think that's just some random farmland there. You can actually, when you're this far out from it, you can actually spin this around and get that to go to the from. See just how far out you are from it. Make sure you're heading in towards the right direction. So it's at 300 right now. And we're set to 280 on our HSI, so we should start seeing this bar moving pretty soon. It's 290. Make sure we're not about to smack into something. Is 290. We're about even with that. So if we move that over to 281, these should start moving in about the same speed. There they go. Look at that. Perfect. So you can see our range actually didn't change too much because we're kind of going perpendicular to the airport right now. Let's go ahead and turn our heading bug in towards the west. Give us a better intercept angle for the nav track, and we're going to nav mode. I'm not sure what this is. It's some big industrial complex down here. It kind of looks like an airport from a distance.
Yeah, it sure did.
Alright, let's go over to nav mode. It should turn us right and do a little wiggle to correct for us. Let's see. We are 8.8 miles away from Flagstaff, so this can get confusing. This is not the distance to where we're going because we're leaving Flagstaff. Flagstaff. Going to Clark Memorial. So Clark Memorial is 28 miles away. That should have been kind of an indicator for me that that was not an airport. Looks like we might have a very nice sunset here. Prescott, as far as approaches go, does have an ILS on 2-1. So what's the weather right now at Prescott? Winds are 340, 11 gusting 20. Ooh, so that's going to get a little sporty down there. We may not be doing the ILS. There's the runway 30, so we may have to overfly the airport, or we can actually do a left base or left downwind, land on 30 pretty easily. So once we get to about 20 miles away from Flagstaff, we should be starting to see the airport. And for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get the cockpit lights on here. On a flood. Should help you out in you guys seeing everything. Diesel, how you doing tonight? Let's get some more speed. Everybody's in a faster airplane. Let's go 24 inches of manifold pressure. Richen it just a hair here. We'll reset our mixture here in a moment. Whoops. I'm down. You can see it's we must have a bit of a crosswind here because it's fighting that wind to keep us on the course. Doing great. It's been a busy day. How about y'all? Yeah, it's been a very busy day for me. Work was exhausting. But we're flying now, so that's all that matters. Right, 15 miles away from Flagstaff. Looking for 20 miles on there. Still sitting at 9,500 feet. Let's go ahead and get the weather at KCMR. Altimeter 3028. So let's go ahead and update that. So that's quite a difference. So 30398. Let that regain our correct altitude. And let's adjust our right one over here. 398. Everybody go ahead and do a fuel check. Make sure you're not running a tank dry. We are actually about even right now. We're not burning too much fuel. About 12 gallons an hour. And we can actually decrease that. Let's go ahead and get the Rich of Peak here. It must not have been too rich enough. So let's bring it back the opposite direction since we started losing horsepower significantly there. Alright, full rich. Let's try this again. Inching down, looking for those cylinder head temperatures. You want to do this slowly so you don't accidentally shoot through it. And for some reason it's not working, so let's just use the icons there, look for the cylinder head temperatures to raise up. Start dropping back down. There we go. We'll leave it right there. 20 miles from Flagstaff, we should have a visual on the airport momentarily. Looking at the terrain around us. There should be a roadway and some power lines snaking along this valley right here. There's the roadway. You see the power lines anywhere? Should be off to the left of it. So there's the power lines. There's the airport. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing what you can do in MSFS. There's our airport. Winds are 3507 knots, and we have runway 360 and 18. So we're going to land on 36. So now that we got a visual on the airport, let's go ahead and do center airport entry to the left downwind. Take it off autopilot. Get the track IR back on. Do a left turn. There is the road and the power lines. Unfortunately, we love VFR is not showing any sort of transmission lines right through here. But that's alright. Alright, once we get about right here, we'll do our left turn for our downwind. Look at that sunset. It's outstanding. Alright, let's go ahead and pull some power. Start slowing down. We've got a mountain kind of in our way here, so we're going to want to go ahead and start descending. Keep an eye on that and the airport. Let's bring the prop in, mixture in. Is this real time? Yep, it's real time. Let's do our left turn here. Let's get our approach flaps in, help with this descent. That beeping is just our landing gear alarm. There is the airport, so we're almost to where we need to be. And let's go ahead and drop our landing gear. Push that alarm up a little bit. So confirm mixture and proper in. Let's go ahead and go landing flaps. Get this flight director turned off for now because it's kind of annoying how it's all crooked and everything. And let's do a right base for 30 or 36, sorry. Get in before this mountain right here. Make sure you don't get too slow. And right turn for final 3-6. You did miss a very buttery landing, Diesel. What'd you say, Sean?
I think I finally caught up to you guys.
Nice.
I'm just doing heading because I couldn't figure out how to put the flight plan in here.
Oh. You can actually do VOR nav with the Garmin 1000s too. We pretty much have a headwind here, so it should be nice landing. No pappies, not a big deal. Alright, gear down, 3 green. Right, mixture, good. About 75 knots. Full power. Let that energy bleed off the ground. Approach flaps, bringing power in. Back in the air. That thing pretty much took off on its own. Positive rate gear up. That's straight out for now. Butter, waffles, and pancakes. Love it. Alright, next VOR is DRK 114.1. Transfer that over, and we're a heading of 191, so we can move our course to 191. 191. Nose over, get some speed, get these flaps up. Or not, flaps up. And to give these guys room, we'll do a left turn out of the airport here.
Slow down a little bit so I could
Oh, I heard somebody just buzz past me.
that was me. I was right below you. So I can tell you.
Alright, we're looking for 9,500 and a climb out of 800 feet per minute. We're going to pull some power back. And we can put this bad boy into nav mode already. We'll just stay on a left downwind here till we get past the airport. Past these mountains right here in front of us, and we'll get back to the nav track. Sunset. Amazing.
It's beautiful. Sim is crazy.
Yeah, it's on. I mean, I just love the fact that you can actually fly VFR in this sim fairly accurately.
Yep.
Let's pull our power back to 21. Brought back to 21. Let everybody catch back up. And then we'll fly through this little gap right here in the mountains and head back to the nav track. Get this thing trimmed out a little bit better. Does this mountain have a name by chance? Goes all the way up to 9,700 feet.
It's, Bill Williams. Bill Williams.
Bill Williams. Or 9256 on this one.
Yeah.
I gotta start bringing more locals along with our flights. Oh, we're about 100 feet high here, so let's get this back on track. I was enjoying the scenery a little too much.
It's easy to do, man.
Yes, it is. I think the top of the mountain here is making me nervous about flying too low. Go ahead and begin our left turn. Looks like we're catching a bit of an updraft here. And downdraft on the other side. And we're joining our nav track right now. Alright, so flight director, altitude, nav mode on, autopilot on. Let's grab some screenshots real quick. Whoa, I'm upside down. It's a very pretty airplane. Gotta leave early again to pick up my rabbit from surgery. Y'all have a great night. See ya. I didn't realize they would do surgeries on rabbits.
Yeah, interesting.
Hopefully your rabbit's better, Diesel. Alright, got some really nice screenshots there. App showing 28.5 miles from the airport. Well, actually, correction, that is to the VOR. The airport's actually going to be off to the, south, yeah, pretty much southeast. Just to kind of remind you guys what we're doing right now. So, we just left Park Memorial here, and we are on this 191 track, straight towards DRK, which is the VOR, 11401, and then let's see if there's any fun approaches we can do on 30. Open charts. Approaches. Oh, wrong airport. Why's this all highlighted? Prescott, charts, approach. Or no, I had the right airport, sorry. They don't have an approach for 30 is why. Okay, that's what was throwing me off. So, the winds... 360 at 8 knots. It's pretty much coming out this direction, so if 30 is still the best runway. What's 3 right got for runways? There is an RNAV that doesn't do us too much good. We could land with a little bit of a tailwind on 21 left. Let's do that. Let's play with the localizer here. So, alright. This localizer approach actually has the VOR in there for us, so we're going to head to Drake, which is DRK, which is what we're heading to right now. And then we'll do a left turn to 042. And then watch for the ILS to come in on our nav2. Right turn, and then swap over to the ILS frequency. So, DRK is 1141. ILS frequency is 1085. Let's go ahead and get that into our radio here. 1085. 1085. We'll go ahead and put our nav2 in for the ILS. Nav1 will have that on standby. And what we're going to do is a heading turn of 042. And we are looking for, we'll be watching for the glide slope. Once we get the glide slope in, 7,900 is our final approach fix. So we'll want to descend to 7,900 from DRK. Once we get that glide slope in, we can turn in. And that'll put us at Humpty once the glide slope's even. Kind of how we'll figure out exactly where we need to be for that. So let's see here. Heading bug of 042. Because we'll go in the heading mode once we get to DRK. I could have gone the other way a little faster. 054 12 042. It's got a really steep left turn, which makes sense from what we're seeing on our HSI here. And we'll want to be pretty slow once we get to that point. But let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun here. Let's see what this thing can do. So let's go ahead and put the thing all the way up to the top of the green line here. We'll go to 31 on the manifold pressure, 26 on the prop. Once that stabilizes, we'll try to get a good EGT temp, make it as fuel efficient as possible. So what kind of ground speed we get? Right now we're showing 179 knots ground speed, which is incredible. Definitely burning a lot more fuel. So speaking of fuel, let's go ahead and swap our tank. And there's no need to drain the tip tanks over, but we can flip these switches over here if we needed to move them from the tip tank to the main tanks. I like to use this as kind of my reserve fuel though. 194 knots ground speed.
Looks like we got the airport over about 11 o'clock. See the approach lights for...
Oh, yep, I do see it. Which makes perfect sense because DRK is right off to the right of the airport from our point of view.
Yep. Wait, 21 left and right.
Yeah. And real quick, a fun thing you can do on the speed here is our outside air temperature is there an outside air temperature probe on this thing? Okay, there it is. We are, Celsius is on the inside, so about 1 degree Celsius. So we can change the temperature for flight level 9.5. There's 9.5 pretty much. And our ground speed should be close to our true airspeed, which is a little off. But it's much better than what we were seeing a minute ago. So we're positive 1 degrees Celsius. You get this altitude line right here. We could inch it over just a hair more. So I'm showing about 194 true air and 203 ground speed. And that just adjusts this band over here, so we can leave that 11 miles from the VOR. 203 knots at 21 gallons per hour. I mean, you're still getting about 10 miles per gallon. That's pretty darn good for the speed we're going. Hey, Eric, how's it going, buddy? Couldn't make it again on time. Was at work. No problem. We are doing a bit of VOR and VFR flying right now. So we flew out around Flagstaff up to Williams-Clark Memorial. We're heading down to Prescott now. Head straight towards DRK. We are somewhere in this area right here. Going to go to DRK, left turn 042. Wait for that glide slope to come up to tell us that we are at Humpty. And do a right turn to join the ILS. Yeah, it's Definitely a lot of fun to do this kind of flying, just because it's, you know, it's definitely a lot more interesting than just following the magenta line on a map. We got this thing going not quite as fast as it could possibly go, but definitely just a few knots short of it. 204 knots ground speed right now. Having a little fun, see how fast we can get this thing to go. If you guys want, we can head back to Sedona after this, because this was a pretty quick flight plan for this aircraft, so we'll throw a little bonus in there. And interestingly enough, if we had wanted to, so there's where we're going to be landing. We could have turned left here and joined that ILS, but I wanted to give this a try. I'm 5 miles out, so let's start slowing up some. Mixture is full rich, so we could have actually gotten a little bit better fuel mileage. But I shut up and tried leaning it out. We'll bring it back to 15 inches on the manifold pressure. 25 on the prop. With that slope, because we're going to go into heading mode here shortly. And you can see that we are above the ILS glide slope right now. Two miles out. Let's see if we can find those mountains on the chart real quick. Yep, there's the peaks we're looking at right now. All right, 1.8 miles out. We're going to be pretty much even with runway 12. Slow it up a hair more here. Right now, 12 inches of manifold pressure. Now let's go into heading mode. Should do a left turn for us, which it is. Excuse me. There is nav 2 on our Bendix. So we'll be able to see. I should go to 2. And of course, for the runway is 208. Could you tell me a trick on how to know when to start our descent if you are like 35,000 feet for an airline in MSFS? For every 1,000 feet it takes you to descend, you need 3 nautical miles. So if you are at 35,000 feet and need to get down to 5,000 feet, that would be 30 times 3, which would put you at 90 miles out. And that's for an idle descent. Now, it's a very rough estimation. You gotta account for headwinds or tailwinds in that number too. So definitely something you want to pay attention to. All right, let's go ahead and swap over to 105.5. There we go. Go back to nav 1. And that ILS is starting to engine a little bit here. So we'll keep it slow. So we can do a right turn and join the ILS. We should see the glide slope coming up here shortly. Yeah, you're welcome. And of course, a headwind is going to make you descend faster because your ground speed's less. And a tailwind would make you descend slower over the same amount of distance. So if you have a tailwind, you want to extend that. And if you have a headwind, you can shorten it just a hair.
Or you could just fly a Boeing.
Which is there an aircraft you're specifically talking about, Eric? Is it the fly-by-wire? Yeah, that's what makes the VNAV so complicated for aircraft when they do the programming. Alright, so Humpty is 10.5 miles out. We're at 6.1. Yeah, it's the Embraer 190. Okay, yeah, that'll work perfectly for the Embraer. The Embraer, I think their manual actually included a slightly more complicated equation you can use, and I don't remember if that took into account headwinds or tailwinds or not.
Are you guys going all the way out to DRK, huh?
Yeah, we went to DRK, and I did a left turn back up to the Humpty RNAV point. And there's a way to program those RNAV points into the RNAV radio here. I haven't finagled enough with that to figure it out. So we're looking for 10.5 miles, and we should be, we'll be to the left of Humpty still. So that'll give us plenty of time to turn in. Eight miles, looking for 10.5. I tried asking Google, and the words it uses, it's too complicated how they explain it. Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. If you have any questions like that, Eric, feel free to, you can drop them in the Discord too, and there's thousands upon thousands of hours of sim time in the Discord, so you'll get a solid answer to just about any question you ask. Alright, 9 miles, looking for 10.5. Should... Oh, let's get the altimeter. Altimeter here is 3023. Alright, 9.5, 1 more mile. We should start seeing the glide slope here soon, along with our... This is our nav track to be in line with ILS. That should start creeping in on us. Well, yeah, we may not see that because we are kind of offset quite a bit here. 10 miles. Looking for that glide slope. Come on, glide slope. If we don't get that, we'll go ahead and turn in since we are 10 miles out. We got plenty of distance. The ILS, the horizontal is actually starting to scoot in some for us. Just waiting for that glide slope. There's 10.5. Did I read the right number? Oh, I know why. We didn't descend. Down to 7,900. Let's do a quick descent. And we'll get that glide slope in real quick. And let's go ahead and do a right turn. We're probably going to shoot through it, so that's, once again, that's what I get for talking too much.
As I disable autopilot, my plane just starts freaking out. I think it's probably FS realistic, to be honest.
Possible. That thing does have the tendency to mess with stuff. There's our glide slope, now that I stopped being a Dumbo. So we're well past Humpty now, by about a mile and a half or so. So we can go ahead and let's re-intercept the ILS. We want to keep going to the right towards the vertical bar. And then we can go into nav mode and then over to approach mode. Yes, I know. 10.5 miles, we're at Humpty. We need to go quite a bit further over. let's go ahead and descend down to 7,000 so we are within the glide slope. Catch back up to that up here. See what happens if we go ahead and go in the nav mode. It's probably gonna steer us. Oh, okay, we were doing it just right. Awesome. Still trying to descend and catch up to that glide slope. Let's go ahead and drop some flaps on the gear. Help us descend a little faster. Oh, the autopilot kicked out of descent mode. It doesn't help either. Not too far offline. We should be able to recapture it pretty quickly. Alright, our landing altitude is 5,000 feet, so we can actually drop this. Whoops, wrong one. Go ahead and drop this down to 5 just so that we can recapture that glide slope. There we go. Let's see if we go ahead and go into approach mode here. Should capture the glide slope. Bring some power back in. Let's see if this will just send us along the glide slope there. It's capturing right here. Beautiful. You can also see it on this horizontal bar right here. Alright. We got that back together. Alright, go around procedure is climb straight out to 5400, right turn direct to DRK. So 1140 and direct to DRK. We can call it 340 on our course. And then we'll use our nav too for that if we need it. 340. Looking for 5,400 feet. Actually, we'll go on straight back up to 6,000. This captured the ILS perfectly. Gear down, flaps down. Let's go landing flaps. Bit of crosswind here and a slight tailwind. Lights are already on. Watch our speed there. We're dropping a little slow. Bring it back up to 80 knots here. Got those guys right behind us. All right. Prop all the way in, mixtures all the way in. Throttle is set for approach. We're expecting a little under 5,000 feet for the airport altitude, so we can fly it all the way down to 5,200 feet for minimums. 5177 if you want to be exact. Pull just a touch of power back, get it right back at 80 knots there. This thing is flying this ILS perfectly. I love Black Square's products.
You not getting those winds, or am I the only one that's on real time?
I'm on real time and weather. And Mike said you were asking about how smooth my airplane was the other night. Well, Phoenix recommends low turbulence on their airplane, and I was testing it. And that's why it was so smooth the other night. It's unrealistic again now, which I think is a little over-realistic. But
because we were flying, yeah, the other night when we were flying, or the other day, because I had left to go to the gym. Now we were looking at your stream, like, how is he like not getting any wind? Like right now, the wind is crazy right now.
All right,
It's
minimums.
bumping me all over the place.
Autopilot off. Pull some power. Decision height icon popped up right there. And pull power. And you guys want to go back to Sedona?
Sure.
All right. Touch and go it is. All right, approach flaps. Full power. The trim setting, it should take off on its own again. There she goes. A little bit of right
Yeah, I'm
aileron.
on.
How's the rate? Gear
I'm staying here for the night.
up. All right.
I gotta go get ready for the gym.
Okay. Well, Derek and I will finish it out in Sedona.
Yep.
All right, so let's continue flying straight out and figure out what we're going to do here since we didn't plan for this ahead of time. So let's go ahead and climb back up to 9,500 feet.
Sounds good. Give you a mile or so behind you.
Altitude heading mode, autopilot on. That nose drop back over. Flaps up. Oh, hang on. 9,500. Come on, girl. It reset on me because I clicked a couple buttons on the autopilot there. Alright, so Sedona's VOR is 1138. And there is actually an airway going through there on a heading of 12. So we can move our HSI down to 12. So 10 degrees, 1, 2. Let's transfer that over. I have a great idea. What's that, Eric? What you got? And we were pretty much in line with it. So we can do let's do a left turn. Avoid these mountains over here. We'll do a left turn to dead straight to the east.
And I'm locals.
We should make a video of a day in the life of a butter pilot. I like the way you think. I'll bring it back to 2.8 on the inches of mercury in the engine, and then 25 on the prop. Alright, Sedona is, what did I say? 1 2. So let's get away from the airport here and do a left turn to a heading of 012. Left turn. Should be able to match it up with HSI there. 012. Because your landings are always better. I appreciate that. But check out that. I don't know what that is down there, but that's pretty cool looking. Like a monument. Oh, I see why we don't have the frequency. 85, not 80. 85. There she goes. All right. We can do a little course correction here. Let's go heading of the 030 to get back on that nav track. As a put alarm just went off. Let's see how far off of the heading we are. So 040. Okay, we are at 3030 ish. Yeah, it's a cruise and 100 feet. Here's the airport we just landed at. Beautiful sunset behind us. And this bar is not moving very quickly, so I'm going to do a right turn on 050. Oh, I just realized why we're not turning the way I expected us to, because that's not 12 degrees. Well, it is 12 degrees. No, it's not. There's no way it's 12 degrees. Airport's 030, so let's just do that.
I'll follow you.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me check out the Sedona. Oh, I'm sorry. Sedona doesn't have a VOR. That was Flagstaff VOR. So Sedona is 090 from Flagstaff.
Gotcha.
This is what I get for not pre-planning this. So we could fly to 090 right now. And then that would put us straight in line with Sedona.
Okay.
So I'm going to go due east until we get that nav track.
Alright, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all later.
See you, Sean.
Hey,
Time. Appreciate
Thanks
the flight.
for joining. That was a lot of fun.
No problem. No problem, man. And I'll talk to you some other time.
Yep. See you, buddy. Alright, I'll show you guys what we're trying to accomplish here. So we're leaving this airport. We're probably up here somewhere, heading east. And you see how this 090 comes through. I'm sorry, 009er comes through Sedona. We're trying to intercept that right through here. So we're flying east, and then we'll head pretty much north once we start getting that VOR in sight. And we're flying towards the FLG VOR. So when we get to 18 miles, we should be at Sedona on heading of 009. We are currently 42 miles away, so we are quite a ways down this way. So that's 18 miles, so double that. Somewhere, yep, about right here.
Oh.
We'll actually fly over Cottonwood again. Alright, Sean, appreciate it. Luckily, we can still see just enough to see that once we get past this mountain range, which should be the only one of concern between us and Sedona. Highest altitude around here that I'm seeing is 8,900, and that's closer to I'm sorry, that's not the altitude. 7,800 or so is about the highest I'm seeing in the area, so we should be okay.
okay. Yeah, be right.
Go and do a fuel check since we've been on this tank for a little while here. Got our flashlight out. Right tank. Go ahead and go back over to our left tank. You can see that our ground speed towards the VOR is only 95 knots right now, and it's actually decreasing a little bit. That's because we're going perpendicular to that heading.
Cool.
I believe once we get to the other side of this hill here, we'll be at Cottonwood again. Should be Cottonwood right down there below us, off to the left. Oh, check this guy out. He's got the one and only light on top of this mountain. Minus the antenna.
As far away as possible.
That's my kind of place to live.
Yes, sir.
And with Starlink these days, it's starting to sound better and better. Temp temperature 74, so we're comfortable there. Is there a way to control the light brightness inside this thing? Pretty lonely, pretty quiet. I deal with people a lot, so
Yeah, I deal with the general public on the daily.
yeah. I don't deal so much with the general public. I deal with a lot of contractors.
Yeah, I got some of those too, but it's a good mixture of both. But still,
Yeah. All right, there's actually another little town, Cornville. And I believe that's
Okay.
right off our nose here. And once we get to Cornville, we'll should be getting pretty close to the nav track. Eric, are you a people person? Do you like to be around people all the time?
people that I like, yes.
I was talking to Eric, but I'll take your answer
sorry.
to Derek.
Yeah,
There's
no,
too many
Eric,
like-named people.
Eric and Derek. It's pretty close.
Yeah, there is the Cottonwood Airport off to our left there. So that's good to see. Yeah, I prefer people. Okay, that's fair. I like having my close-knit group of friends, personally. Having you guys on here on the stream is always a lot of fun, though. It's okay. I can still stream with Starlink. Thanks.
So, what do you have your HSI set at? I see you're still approaching the kind of the bug there, but
009. So you see north right there, it's 10 degrees, 009. It's actually starting to close in, which is amazing how well this works, because right there is Cornville. I love it. Love it when a plan comes together. But when on MSFS, I prefer to be alone. I understand. Some of the people on the Microsoft Server Live they're a little crazy. It's a little crazy. So we can go ahead and go into nav mode. Let this thing start capturing this nav so we don't shoot through it this time. I'm going to lean this girl out just a little bit here while I'm thinking about it. Looking for those cylinder head temperatures on the bottom right of your screen there. So they start dropping again. There's the peak on that one, peak on that one, peak on that one, and I believe we are, yep, there we go. So let's go rich peak, so push the mixture in just a hair more. Burning 17 gallons per hour. Ground speed is increasing once we get on straight in line with that. Oh, look at that. There's Sedona right off our nose. Perfect. So the weather at Sedona. Winds are calm, so we can do a straight in landing. Visual approach on runway 3. Awesome. Gotta figure out how to dim these internal lights real quick. It's too bright in here. There's gotta be a way to do it. There we go. Flight floodlight. Ah, beautiful. Sub panel light, avionics. Flight instruments we'll leave up. Ah, it's much easier on the eyes. I don't think there is an ILS on 3, but if there is, we'll go ahead and dial it in just for the fun of it. Nope, there's just an RNAV. Looking ahead there is no terrain to be concerned of with, according to the chart here. Sedona is at an altitude of 4,800 feet, so let's go ahead and drop down to 7,000 real quick. Sound about 800 feet per minute. Should pick up a nice bit of ground speed here. Yeah, just run the whole flight. Yeah, especially when you're at the airports and you got guys doing, you know, 360 no scopes on the runway with their 747s.
Yeah.
But we do fly on the live server so we can see each other, so we have to deal with that occasionally. Not a big deal though. Alright, I am going to go ahead and bring the mixture in a bit, because we don't want to go too lean on our descent. Don't have to go all the way in, we'll leave it at just a hair here, because we are at higher elevation on this airport. Don't want to exceed 200 knots indicated airspeed here. And we should probably actually start slowing down just a hair. Let's bring back 25 pounds on the manifold. Alright, that's not going to be enough. Just looking out the window here. Let's go back down to 15. Alright, it was fun hanging with y'all, but sadly I have to go see you all later. See ya, Eric. Thanks for joining and all the comments. Have a good night. Alright. I'm going to pull power here. Try to slow us down quite a bit here. Yep, anytime, you too. Appreciate it. See you, buddy. We descend at a very uncomfortable pace of 1,500 feet per minute in an unpressurized cabin. No big deal on the gear up annunciator here. It's just letting us know that we're trying to land without our gear up because the power is all the way down. I'm sorry, without our gear down. There's 7. Airport is a little below 5. So we're looking at something closer to 6 here. And what I'm doing here is just kind of keeping the airport in the same spot on my screen here. And it lets me know that I'm heading at a very good glide slope towards it. It's kind of steep right now, it's just because we were high coming off the mountains. But we'll get her down, no problem. Go ahead and pull more power, enough to let us get our landing gear down. Give us a nice big speed brake. Alright, gear down. Should slow us up nicely. Pull a little bit of power back in, just a hair. And approach flaps. Happy showing 2 green, but I'm not sure if there's not a tree in the way. And let's go landing flaps. Looking for about 80 knots. Props in, mixture's all the way in. Yep, there's definitely trees in the way. I was about to say I feel like I'm pretty high.
Oh, man.
Somebody needs to get the
Grounds crew out there.
yeah, get the chainsaw back out there. Alright, so luckily the pappies were 2 green on the right side there, so I got 2 red now. See if we can't get 1 green back, just to let us know that we're just slightly high. Nope, got 3 red. Too low. Hopefully we don't catch a tree that we can't see. There we go. 2 red, 2 green. Perfect. Alright. Let's bring her on in. Here is the runway. Let's pull power. Can't really see the runway off my nose, so I'm going to kind of look out the side window, see if we can't catch this taxiway. Nope, too fast. What about the next one? Press that front suspension, and we'll make it just in time. Beautiful. There's
Be right behind you.
Yep, and we'll go park where we took off from. They got the oh, wrong taxiway. They got the fire truck out here for my hot brakes. Alright guys, I did have Volanta running in the background, so we'll take a look at that real quick, just see how we did. Obviously it was very successful since we made it back in one piece. And Derek, if you want to pull up next to me over here, we'll get us some group screenshots. Unfortunately, Shine's not with us.
Alright, we're gonna focus on getting the sucker in the ground.
No problem. Try to Park us over here by the lights. What's up, CRJ?
Hello.
We just landed back at Sedona.
Okay. Welcome for the screenshot.
Coming for the screenshot? All right. When did you join us?
I just joined. Just woke up.
Oh, okay. I didn't have name tags on there, so I'll park over here by the road. Get us a good, little brighter screenshot. Try not to slap the wings on anything.
Brakes.
There's Derek. I'm off to your right right now. All right, park brake. Strobe can go off. It'll heat.
I see you.
And then pull the mixture. There she goes. Go ahead and pull everything back
Truck out of the
and
way.
get all of our lights off. We can have avionics master can come off. Alternator can come off. Get all of our internal lights off. Go ahead and close up our cockpit heat. And master battery off. Let's hop out here and see if I can... Oh, listen to that. You can hear the engine pinging. I'm gonna have to brighten it up a little bit for us here. Oh, let's check out the scenery is awesome. There's guys out here playing cornhole, having a good time. The diner out here at the airport. You know what would be cool is if I can get over here with the party group. Let's bring that time of day up just a hair here so we can get a better screenshot. There we go, that should be good. Interestingly, it's showing the Comanche?
Yeah.
Without a cockpit. Oh, you were flying the Comanche the entire night?
Yes.
Okay. That's an awesome airplane.
It's a good time. It's just what I've been doing most of my VOR in lately, so it's,
Yeah. Alright, Sierra J, when you get parked, if you don't mind turning your landing light off, this is going to be a great picture right here. Perfect.
it's fine.
That's a nice screenshot right there, boys. I think you guys are going to like this one. Alright. Appreciate everybody joining tonight. Hope you enjoyed that and learned something, hopefully. As you can see, VOR navigation can be a ton of fun. We'll be back Sunday again, either on a turboprop or a jet. Excuse me. Just a little update real quick. We will be coming up on the end of the year for as far as streaming. Let me pull up my calendar real quick here just to let everybody know exactly what's going on. This Sunday, then the next Thursday, we'll be flying. The 24th, we will not be having a stream due to New Year's Eve. I'm sorry, Christmas Eve. And then the following week on the 28th will be the last stream of the year. I will be in a cabin in the mountains on the 31st, so I'll be celebrating New Year's up in the mountains alone, which will be great. You guys have any questions? Want to check out the Discord? Links are below. Any questions you can come up with, we can help you solve them in our Discord there. There's a ton of knowledge, like I've mentioned multiple times tonight. And if you want to support the stream and what we do here, check out the Buy Me Coffee link below. With that, guys, catch you next time, and happy flying.